Hi, on this series of reviews, I'm going to help you all figure out what you should pick up and maybe what you should pass on if you're new or if you're trying to get further into the Criterion Collection. Now, this week we're going to focus on Blue Velvet. This is a David Lynch film that piques a lot of people's interest, is high on a lot of people's list, and sometimes is hard to find. So, should you pick it up? Let's find out. Blue Velvet is about a college student, Jeffrey Beaumont, played by MacLachlan. He returns home after his father has a stroke. When he discovers a severed ear in an abandoned field, Beaumont teams up with a detective daughter, Sandy Williams, played by Dern, to solve the mystery. They believe beautiful lounge singer Dorothy Vallens, played by Isabella Rossellini, may be connected with the case, and Beaumont finds himself becoming drawn into her dark, twisted world, where he encounters sexually depraved psychopath Frank Booth, played by none other than Mr. Dennis Hopper. This movie was released September 19th, 1986. It was directed by David Lynch, produced by Fred Caruso, and had a budget of $6 million. There's a lot of information about this film that you can get caught up in. The fact that Isabella Rossellini was discovered by David Lynch in a restaurant, that's pretty cool. David Lynch had Laura Dern and MacLachlan meet at a Big Boy restaurant so that they could, Bob's Big Boy, so they could figure out if they were going to have charisma. He also took a pay cut. The original budget for this film was $10 million, but David Lynch took a pay cut so that he could have final cut of the movie. He had just come off of a dump of a movie in Dune. Dune totally tanked. Everybody was depressed about it, including David Lynch himself, so he knew he kind of had to play the game. So the budget, after he took the pay cut and he took a few edits with scenes and things of that nature, was down to $6 million. Now, this movie took a gross of $8.6 million in the theater, but has then grown a cult following. It's primarily why it's on Criterion, that and because it's David Lynch, and David Lynch films are pretty big on Criterion. With all that being said, is this a good movie? I believe it is. It is a good movie. It's a good movie about a detective that's actually a teenager that has no detective background whatsoever. As it says, he got caught up in this weird, crazy world. There's all sorts of quirky characters. There's Roy Orbison music, which is always fun. It's just a complete and utter backdrop that David Lynch likes to paint. I don't want to tell you too much about the movie because I don't want to give anything away. This movie is a great surprise if you've never seen it before. I would say, this is just my suggestion, grab as many people as you can and watch this so you can discuss it right after you finish, because I have two co-hosts that will never watch this and will never discuss it with me. But I do have a movie club that we will discuss this. It's a disturbing, uncomfortable movie, and I think that's the way movies need to be. That being said, should you pick this up over many, many other titles that Criterion has during the sale? I'm going to say absolutely. I believe it's very, very, very smart to go ahead and start building up your David Lynch collection if you haven't already. If you do have a favorite David Lynch film, please leave it down in the comment. Let's start that conversation. I am also going to be reviewing Twin Peaks during this series of reviews. I have to say, I was late to the game on David Lynch. I watched Mulholland Drive way back in the day when it came out in theaters, and I liked it, but I was too young to really take it all in at the time for myself. I'm not saying young people can't. But I really do believe that David Lynch is a storyteller that everybody, especially, I don't want to say cinephiles, but movie lovers, we'll say movie lovers, should really pay attention to. So, thank you for tuning in to Criterion Corner. Expect more reviews so that we can help you figure out what you should buy during the Barnes Noble 50% off sale. Please also tell me what I should buy. Give me any suggestions that I might need to pick up, because I too am just as eager as all of you to go out and hit Barnes Noble pretty hard. All right. I'll see you guys on the next review. Continue to watch many, many movies.